Hello po mga kababayan, si Dante Marapillas. So, pinakilala na ng prosecution panel yung ikalawang batch ng mga private prosecutors para sa impeachment complaint para sa impeachment ni Sara Duterte. Ayan po. Ang mga ikalawang batch na mga abogado, kilala na natin yung iba, si Attorney Chudorte, yung chairperson ng FLAG, Attorney Rinaldo Robles ng Chan Robles Associates, si Attorney Arnold Labay, CPA, lawyer siya, Chan Robles and Associates. Tapos si Attorney May Divina Gracia ng CND Law.
Salamat po. Magandang umaga po. On behalf of the House Prosecution Panel, we welcome and thank our friends from the media for joining us today. This morning, the House Prosecution Panel is making an important announcement regarding the strengthening of its legal and communications teams in connection with the impeachment proceedings against Vice President Sara Duterte. It is therefore our privilege to formally introduce the newest members of the private prosecution panel, as well as the panel's additional spokesperson and impeachment advisor. So ito po yung mga miyembro ng the second batch of private prosecutors. The first to be introduced, although he's not here because of a prior commitment, is Attorney Theodore Te. Kilala niyo na po siya. Attorney Te is a former Chief Public Information Officer and spokesperson of the Supreme Court, the interim chairperson of the Free Legal Assistance Group, or FLAG, and a full-time faculty member of the UP College of Law. He has argued major constitutional and human rights cases before the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court, served as a bar examiner 3 times, and led legal aid and civil liberties work involving freedom of expression, press freedom, due process, and the protection of civil and political rights. So that's Attorney Theodore Te. Next, we are pleased to introduce Attorney Reynaldo Robles, founding and managing partner of Chan Robles and Associates. Attorney Robles is a veteran lawyer with experience in criminal and civil litigation, corporate law, election law, labor, taxation, and public-private partnership work. He placed 10th in the 1990 bar examinations, graduated cum laude and class valedictorian from FEU Law, and has extensive legislative experience as a former Senate Chief Legislative Consultant who helped craft committee reports and final versions of more than 50 bills. Yan po si Attorney Reynaldo Robles. Please stand to be recognized. Salamat po, Attorney Robles.
I think isa
Also
yung dating
joining the private prosecution
legal
panel
consultant
is Attorney
ni
Arnold Labay,
Trillanes, si Robles.
a senior partner of Chan Robles and Associates. Attorney Labay brings the combined discipline of law and accounting, having passed both the CPA board examination and the bar, and having spent decades in litigation practice. He previously served as managing partner and litigation lawyer of Labay, Madamba, Picho law offices, taught remedial law review, evidence and civil law, and authored a book on persons and family relations. Let's welcome Attorney Arnold H. Labay. We also welcome, on my left, Attorney May Divina Gracia, Managing Partner of Co. Nazario Velasco Catera and Divina Gracia Law Offices. Attorney Divina Gracia has handled commercial, civil, and criminal litigation, arbitration, product liability, corporate rehabilitation, intercorporate disputes, labor, and family law. She previously practiced with Accra Law's Litigation and Dispute Resolution Department, teaches law at Ateneo de Manila University, Ateneo de Naga University, and the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, and represented the Philippines in major moot court competitions, including the JESOP International Moot Court and the Asia Cup in Tokyo. Attorney May Divina Gracia, welcome. Finally, we are pleased to announce that former Surigao del Norte Representative Robert A's Barbers joins the House Prosecution Panel as an additional spokesperson and impeachment advisor. Wala po siya ngayon also because of previous or a prior commitment. As you know, former Representative Barbers served as governor of Surigao del Norte, a 6-term member of the House of Representatives, and chair of the key congressional committees, including the Committee on Dangerous Drugs and the historic Quad Committee. He brings to the team decades of legislative experience, a strong record in public accountability work, and a clear, direct communication style that will help explain the impeachment process and its significance to the Filipino people. So, ladies and gentlemen, former Surigao del Norte Representative Robert A's Barbers as additional spokesperson and impeachment advisor. Please join me in welcoming our distinguished legal professionals and public servant to the House Prosecution Panel. With us also today is of course, Attorney Benjamin J. Tolosa Jr., the legal spokesperson of the Prosecution Panel. Salamat po.
Okay.
Umaga po sa ating lahat. I am proud to be here beside the new private prosecutors that we have introduced this morning. Yung karamihan po sa kanila ay nakasama ko na sa iba't ibang mga korte, either as co-counsel or I have observed them appear in court in various court proceedings. And I am very certain that they will be bringing a lot of expertise to the prosecution in the coming days. So I'm very thankful that my colleagues are here this morning, and I look forward to working with them in the coming trial. Yun lang po, we are ready to answer questions. Thank you.
Labay? Ako po ay kabilang sa hanay ng tinatawag na Generation X, senior citizen. Kami po ng aking partner, si Attorney Robles. At alam ko po na marami sa aming henerasyon ang nababahala sa mga nangyayari na maraming nagpapakalat ng mapanira at mga mapanirang fake news. Kung kaya sa impeachment proceedings po na ito, iniimbita po natin ang sambayan ng Pilipino na makinig, manood, at maging mapanuri upang sila po mismo sa sarili nila malaman nila kung ano yung totoo. Sapagkat sa dulo naman po lahat ng ito, kami po sa prosecution panel, ang nais lang naman po namin ay manaig ang katotohanan at makamit ang hustisya. Salamat po.
Si Atty. Robles.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Siguro po itong batch ng private prosecutors na ito, masasabi ko, kami ho yung normally would rather blend in the background, no? And would do our work quietly, no? And let our work speak for itself, no? Pero dito po sa impeachment case na ito, kami po naglakas ng loob na mag-volunteer dahil sa tingin po namin, hindi na pwede po yung pipikit na lang natin yung ating mata samantalang may mga nangyayari sa ating lipunan na hindi nakatanggap-tanggap. No? At hindi na rin pwede na isa walang kibo na lang natin. No? So nandito po kami, we volunteered because we want to help out in the process of accountability ordained in the Constitution. No? We also want to, kagaya ng sabi ni Atty. Labay, na ipalabas yung katotohanan no? Dito sa mga nangyari no? Sa ating bayan. And we think that our little experience sa litigation at bilang mga abogado makakatulong sa ating distinguished panel of public prosecutors para mapalabas yung katotohanan. And sabi nga sa Biblia, and we will know the truth, and the truth shall set us free. No? It will allow us to rebuild our trust in the institutions, the public institutions, para makasulong ang ating bayan at ang ating lipunan sa pag-unlad na ating tinatamasa. Kasi kailangan nating mag-umpisa uli dahil sa mga nangyari dito sa ating bayan. And we can only do that if we can actually determine kung ano yung nangyari through this process of impeachment. Yun lamang po. Maraming salamat po.
Sasha?
Gandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. It's an honor for me to be working with great legal minds in this very important constitutional process. Tulad po ng nasabi ni Attorney Ray, like the other private prosecutors, I joined the prosecution team for one reason, and that's accountability. I believe that we, the Filipino people, deserve nothing less than absolute transparency and accountability from our leaders. So I hope yung litigation experience ko po over the years will help in presenting the facts clearly and objectively to demand accountability from the Vice President. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Divina Gracia. Si Attorney Jay, importante nga yung kanyang role dahil siya yung spokesperson, lalo na yung mga legal trust. May we hear from Attorney Jay kung anong may bago bang development niya?
Good morning, everyone. Well, first of all, we're very pleased to welcome to the team officially Attorneys Labay, Robles, and Divina Gracia. And I'm honored to serve alongside distinguished litigators, of course, together with the public prosecutors. And I'm not sure if I'll be allowed to take questions later after this so that I could give updates if necessary.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning po. For Kongs De Lima and Jokno, the Vice President po invoked freedom of expression and the lack of proof that she contracted an assassin, as well as confidentiality of bank records and the AMLAC reports in her reply to the articles of impeachment. Ano pong masasabi niyo doon?
Thank you, Tina, for that question, but I'm afraid that we cannot really dwell on that as extensively as we would, because that's already touching on the merits. As part of the defense of the Vice President, alleged freedom of expression and then the alleged confidentiality of BIR tax records. But we, of course, espouse the contrary view, but we'd rather that we articulate on this in due time before the impeachment court. Kasi po, malinaw naman po sa patakaran ng Senate Rules of Procedure on Impeachment Trials that prosecutors, just like senator judges, ay hindi po pwede mag-comment on the merits ng kaso. Ang pwede lang po namin ay yung procedural and magbigay ng updates, ng status of the case, but not dwelling into the merits of the case. Kasi depensa na po nila yan. Yung tungkol sa alleged freedom of expression that is related to the Article 4 on contracting of an assassin, grave threats, and inciting to sedition. And then yung tungkol naman po sa BIR tax records, that would be part of Article 2, unexplained wealth. Although po, as you recall, ay kasama na po yan sa mga naging proposals ng prosecution for the consideration of the defense and also the impeachment court tungkol sa pagbubukas ng BIR box na yan. Pero ang hinihiling lang naman namin ay yung pagbubukas ng BIR box na yan kasama yung kanyang mga laman para makita na yung laman, yung contents, magkaroon ng inventory at markahan na bilang ebidensya. Wala pa po dyan yung admissibility, wala pa dyan yung relevance, wala pa dyan yung evidentiary weight or probative value. So, hindi po yan pwedeng tutulan yung pagbukas at pagmarka. And in fact, doon sa comment po ng defense on our manifestation with proposal on certain matters, on certain pre-trial matters, kasama po yung BIR box, ay parang sinasabi nila na they are not averse to the opening of the BIR box. Kaya lang ang sinasabi nila, ang kanilang hiling ay dapat daw sa executive session at wag na munang ipamigay o ipakita yung mga laman na yan. We are responding to that at again, para lang hindi tayo pumasok sa diskusyon tungkol sa merits. Bakit kailangan pa ng executive session? Pwede naman yan gawin na. I-assign lang isang team, for example, para buksan at para ipamarka yung mga laman niya. Thank you.
While we do not want to respond to the merits or defenses being raised by the Vice President, just allow me please to restate what is clearly the settled jurisprudence when it comes to freedom of speech. Alam po ito ng lahat ng mga abogado, alam din ito ng lahat ng mga law students. Freedom of speech is not absolute. There are limits to freedom of speech, and of course, we will leave it to the impeachment court to resolve the arguments made by the Vice President. We are very, very ready to respond in the proper forum. Thank you.
Reply po, the Vice President asked that the articles of impeachment be dismissed for lack of evidence. Does the rules of the Senate Impeachment Court provide that, the dismissal?
The Constitution itself is very clear that once the House of Representatives has transmitted the articles of impeachment to the Senate, ang tungkulin po ng Senado bilang impeachment court ay litisin agad-agad ang kaso. Pag sinabi po ng Constitution na itatrial ang case, that means that they will hear the evidence. So as far as we are concerned, 2 points I'd like to raise. Number one, there's no room, in my opinion, in the Constitution for that kind of mechanism. And number two, hindi naman po appeals court ang Senado bilang impeachment court sa ginawa ng House of Representatives nung nasa amin pa ang kaso. Thank you.
Additional yan, maski mismo sa Senate Rules of Procedure and Impeachment Trials ay wala yung tungkol dyan na i-dispose na muna or kailangan muna ng pagtalakay dun sa mga defenses at yung dismissal. Kasi sabi na nga ni Kong Chel ay klaro po ang nasa saligang batas natin. The mandate of the Senate is to try and decide impeachment cases. Thank you.
Baka Prosex would want to comment.
Bilang karagdagan lang po, meron naman pong precedents na doon sa mga previous impeachment cases. Doon po sa kaso ni President Erap at saka ni former Chief Justice Corona, that the defense attempted to raise issues to have the case dismissed at yun po ay binasura ng impeachment court. So maliwanag po yung precedent in that regard.
And I guess it's also premature for them to be raising lack of evidence without first allowing the prosecution to present its evidence.
All right.
Ana of Bombo Radio Philippines. Good morning po, Attorney and Kongs. Good morning. Hiniling po ni BP Sara na i-void, no? Just a follow-up question lang din po related doon sa nauna. Hiniling po ni BP Sara na i-void ang impeachment case at ang sinasabi niya na ang pagbabanta kay Presidente ay bahagi ng freedom of speech. Sakali pong tatanggapin ng Senado ang nasabing argumento tungkol sa freedom of speech, yung pagbabanta ni Vice President Sara, ano ang maaring maging epekto nito sa pananagutan ng mga halal na opisyal? Thank you.
Ang epekto na yan, kung hindi papayagan yung pagpresenta ng evidence doon sa contracting an assassin and then making grave threats. That's Article Article 4 of the Articles of Impeachment. Paano yan? Anyone can just be blurting out all of those threatening words and remarks from a high official at that. And it's a high official, happens to be the second highest official of the land, making those threatening statements against the highest official. So ano na po mangyayari? Anybody can just do that? And then paano po yan? Ay karapatan din ng prosecution na ilatag yung mga ebidensya, i-prove yung punto na yan. Trial po tayo. So kailangan payagan ang pagpresenta ng mga evidence para ilatag yung facts for the consideration of the impeachment court at para malaman, makita, marinig ng sambayanang Pilipino. So that's merely, yung procedural na naman yan, technicality na naman yan, even if they're raising such freedom of expression. But again, karapatan ng prosecution to prove its case against the Vice President.
Madagdag.
Premature na i-consider ng impeachment court yung sinasabi ng depensa na yan. Para sa akin, dapat haharap muna si Vice Presidente. At siya, dapat manggaling mismo sa bibig niya sa harapan ng court kung ano yung nasa isip niya nung sinabi niya yung mga salitang yon. At dapat rin na bigyan kami ng karapatan na i-cross-examine siya dun sa sinasabi nga niyang claims. Kung ano man yon, freedom of speech o kung meron pa siyang ibang paliwanag.
A follow-up, sa tingin niyo, anong mga legal na batayan ang dapat gamitin ng mga senador sa pagdesisyon kung dapat bang ibasura ang impeachment? Thank you.
Well, I think the jurisprudence is clear that yung decision nila kung may conviction o acquittal ay nasa sa kanilang mismo yon, nasa kamay nila. In terms of what if your question pertains to ano ba yung dapat standard of proof, yung sinasabi nga nila pang criminal case na proof beyond reasonable doubt, or civil case na preponderance of evidence, or administrative case na substantial evidence, wala naman pong ganon pagdating sa impeachment. And that is really a matter every senator judge will have to decide for herself or himself.
Thank you.
Good morning po. Hello po. Haji Kaaminyo po from Brigada News FM. First off, may statement po or in an interview, sabi po ni Senate President Win Gatchalian that yung impeachment trial could last up to months. Sa palagay po ninyo, although you've requested already na at least 62 trial dates para po sa presentation ng mga witnesses ng evidence, but sa palagay po ninyo yung 7 to 8 months na yun, mahaba po ba yun or sakto lang po ba yun? What are your thoughts po on the estimated timeline?
First of all, talagang estimate lang po yan. Hindi po tayo makakasiguro gaano talaga to tatagal. 7 months ba or less than 7 months? Kasi even if linatag na natin yung ilan ng mga witnesses on both sides at i-reflect nga yan po sa pre-trial order na inaasahan na ipapalabas ngayon ng impeachment court, ay depende po talaga yan sa developments ng kaso. Kasi hindi naman po ibig sabihin lahat ng mga linista by both prosecution and defense ay talagang ipipresenta. Depende talaga yan sa mga magiging takbo at magiging itsura ng trial. Baka merong ilang mga facts na hindi na kailangan talaga na meron ipresenta na witness o may ipresenta na documents. At ganoon din yung tungkol dun sa 4 articles. Kasi yung 7 months na yan, that's on the premise na lahat ng mga balak ng prosecution na ipipresent ay ipipresent talaga. At lahat na articles of impeachment, yung 4 na yan, ay ipoprove o i-develop ng prosecution. Pwede rin po kasi na kapag sa tingin, sa assessment, evaluation ng prosecution, pagkatapos na ipresenta or one or 2 articles or even 3 articles, ay pwede nang i-dispense yung pag-prove ng other articles, ng 1 or 2 articles, para mas madali. Kung sa tingin namin ay malakas na para makasecure ng conviction. And if that happens, then necessarily, shorten yung trial period. Thank you.
But just to follow up on that po, pero kung kayo po yung tatanungin, would it be better kung mas mapapabilis po yung usad ng trial? Like for example, yun nga po, masunod yung 2 or 3 witnesses per day.
Tingnan ho natin kung kaya yon. Again, depende yan. Kasi syempre may mga witnesses na medyo mahaba ang kanilang testimonya. So baka sa isang araw lang yan, kasama na yung cross-examination. Pero meron mga witnesses na hindi naman ganun kahaba and therefore pwede talagang i-present 2 o 3 sa isang trial date. Again, it depends really on the nature of the testimony and on the witness. Ay kung ilang araw, isang araw lang ba, isang witness o several witnesses, 2 or 3 witnesses per trial date. So depende po yan. Thank you.
Okay. Last questions po natin. I think sabi niyo nga po kanina, most of you will work in the background nga po. Pero sa palagay po ninyo, paano po expertise po ninyo doon sa case against the Vice President? Kasi I understand, parang may CPA po yata sa inyo. Like for example, pwede po ba siyang magamit pagdating doon sa usapin ng unexplained wealth or sa confidential funds? Salamat po.
Opo, sagot sa katanungan, magagamit po yan. Hindi lang naman po ako yung CPA. May mga kasama po rin tayo sa private prosecutors na CPA din po. Salamat po.
May announcement po si Dilima.
Pong i-announce that aside from being the legal spokesperson, ay kasama rin po sa private prosecutor si Attorney Benjamin J. Tolosa Jr. Siya po ay actually na-introduce na po siya dati as legal spokesperson and now we're introducing him also as a private prosecutor. Attorney Tolosa is the founding and managing partner and head of the litigation and dispute resolution practice of the Tolosa Lim and Chua law firm, where he leads a team of over 25 lawyers handling complex and high-stakes disputes. He held in-house legal positions as legal counsel of the leading Fortune Global 500 multinational corporations Philippine affiliate and as general counsel of a regional conglomerate engaged in the retail and distribution of premium global brands. Siya po ay former senior associate of Accra Law, representing major corporations, senior executives, and public officials in complex and high-value disputes. Ang mga recognition po kasama po yung the prestigious Asia Law Profiles and Legal 500 Asia Pacific have consistently recognized Attorney Tolosa as a recommended lawyer and key partner for litigation and dispute resolution. Under Attorney Tolosa's leadership, the firm's litigation and dispute resolution practice has earned recognition from Legal 500 Asia Pacific, Asia Law Profiles, and Benchmark Litigation, and has received Asian Legal Business Boutique Litigation Firm of the Year awards on multiple occasions. Ang kanyang educational background po, he obtained Bachelor of Laws, University of Santo Tomas, ranked among the top 10 of a graduating class of 145. Bachelor of Arts, major in Legal Management, University of Santo Tomas, and recipient of the Outstanding Thomasian Award from the University of Santo Tomas Law Alumni Foundation, Inc. So sa puntong ito po siguro pwede nating pakinggan si Attorney Tolosa and magbibigay din po siya ng certain updates. Thank you.
Thank you, Congresswoman Laila. So I think some of you may already know me since I was introduced last week as a legal spokesperson. So now with the formal introduction as part of the prosecution team as well, no? So I'm also honored to serve in this capacity again, together with the honorable public prosecutors and respected other private prosecutors. So I also just wish to quickly clarify, that although it was stated that I'm a managing partner of my firm, I'm participating in this proceeding strictly in my personal capacity. And as I've mentioned last week, as a trial lawyer, I've found it meaningful opportunity to place my experience in the service of this important constitutional process. Maybe, as mentioned by Kong Lale, I could give some updates about the case as well. So as everyone knows already, the pre-trial conference has officially concluded last Thursday. So under the rules, the impeachment court has 10 days to issue a pre-trial order. But of course, they don't need to exhaust that entire period. So we're expecting to receive that pre-trial order sometime soon, but definitely before July 6. And after the issuance of the pre-trial order, parties will be given an opportunity to file motions for the correction of the pre-trial order if necessary. So now, the only pending incidents are the requests that we filed. Some of them we've tackled already. I guess the most major among those is the opening of the BIR box. Now, as noted, although last Thursday, as reported, the defense vehemently objected to opening and even just the marking of the box itself. But we're pleased that at least the next day, in their formal submission, they changed their stance and said that they're open to having the box opened, and that we could conduct an inventory of its contents and we could mark the same, but under specific conditions, which is that it be done in executive session and that it be made confidential from the public. So it should not be released from the public. That's one of the conditions that they've stated. Now, just so not to belabor the point and so that it may not cause any delay, we will leave it to the discretion of the impeachment court with respect to those conditions. But insofar as we're concerned, we would like to take that as a positive step towards transparency, at least now compared to their original stance of not even allowing us to market. Now at least we will finally be able to see the contents of that BIR box.
Thank you, Attorney Codasa.
I don't have the estimate now, pero tama ka, wala namang limit. So discretion uli po yan ng prosecution kung ilan ang private prosecutors na magpapatulong sa presentation of the evidence.
Gusto ko lamang pong idagdag na hindi naman po unusual o hindi pangkaraniwan yung request ng participation ng private prosecutors. Sa ordinaryong korte po, ginagawa po ito. May mga kaso, lalo na yung complex litigation, that private prosecutors are allowed by public prosecutors to appear and to participate actively in the prosecution of cases. In the impeachment case, I think we have listed 60. We asked for 62 trial dates, supposedly for 62 witnesses. So imagine nyo po yung preparasyon na kailangan to prepare 62 witnesses. So even if there are 15 or 20 or even 25 private prosecutors, madami pa rin pong trabaho na kailangan gawin kasi kailangan background checks, kailangan mag-i-review lahat ng dokumento, kailangan i-prepare yung witnesses or yung possible questions, i-research yung lahat ng pwedeng i-research. So hindi po madami yung 15 or 20. Kaya nga po nang nasabi nyo, in other impeachment cases, lampas pa ng 50 yung private prosecutors.
Just to add, siguro ito hindi masyadong kabisado ng mga hindi abogado. Ang prosecution kasi para kang nagpapatayo ng bahay. Ang prosecution ang may burden to establish the basis for the charges. Ang defense naman, ang tungkulin nila ay i-demolish yung bahay. So kung yung analogy na yun ang gagamitin natin, sa pagpapatayo ng bahay, maraming plano yan, maraming gagawin. May kailangan mo pa ng kontraktor, kailangan mo ng mga karpentero, mga master carpenter at iba pa. Ang pag-demolish ng bahay, madali lang yun. Ilan lang ang taong kailangan mo is wrecking wrecking crew at tapos na. So yung sa mga magsasabi na hindi handa ang prosecution kaya napakarami ang kinukuha nila mga abogado, hindi po totoo yun. Talagang nagkakaiba lang ang trabaho ng prosecution sa trabaho ng defense.
On that note, may tanong pa. Mayroon pa kung gusto magbigay ng pahayag?
I just wanted to add, it's also worth mentioning that in the pre-trial brief alone, the prosecution has listed, at least identified 56 witnesses, 56, 57 witnesses, and over 500 documentary exhibits. So we really need all help that we can get.
Gusto ko rin i-include, no, the defense in fact listed or indicated that they have around 95 witnesses. Paghahandaan din po ng prosecution yan. So kasama sa trabaho po yan.
Kuya, last na lang po, sorry. Tama po ba na hindi tayo papayag na hindi mabuksan yung BIR box because, also under the bank secrecy law, may exemption po sa batas, yung impeachment cases. And hindi tayo papayag dun sa an IRC lang, na executive session lang dapat.
I-insist po talaga ng prosecution na kailangan mabuksan yung BIR box at makita yung kanyang contents. This is an impeachment case. This is a superior constitutional mandate at malaman talaga ang katotohanan, ano yung mga, at maipoprove ng prosecution ano yung importance or significance ng mga tax records na yan in relation to the issue of unexplained wealth, which is Article 2 of the Articles of Impeachment. We will definitely insist on that.
Good afternoon. One last clarification lang po kay Attorney Jay. Kasi sabi niyo po kanina, even the inventory of its content, gusto po nilang under the executive session. Tama po ba? Ano po yung parang implications ito kung mismo yung pag-iimbentaryo ng nilalaman ay under executive session? So ibig sabihin po, hindi malalaman ng publiko kung ano yung laman ng box?
That's correct. That's, as I mentioned a while ago, that's one of the express conditions that they indicated in their submission, when they agreed to have the box open. So sabi nila, they changed their stance. They said, okay, we're agreeing now. Pwede na nating buksan yan. But again, conditions are executive session and dapat hindi isa publiko itong mga dokumento na ito.
Alright. On that note,
Maganda, hindi malalaman ng publiko, hindi yan transparent. Di ba po, mga kababayan? But anyway, yan ang mga developments. Pero ang sabi naman po ni Congresswoman Laila de Lima, insist nila. At it's up to the impeachment court. Kung ano yung mga magiging desisyon dito, mga kababayan. So that's it. Tuloy na mga kababayan yung impeachment trial laban kay Sara Duterte. So ito yung kabang-abang. It will start on July 6, 2026. Abangan po natin. Papunta na tayo sa exciting part. Exciting part. Diba? Sa mga naghanap ng malinis and spacious fitness gym, pumunta lang po kayo sa aming Colosal Fitness Gym. We also offer Grab Car Rental with our brand new 2023 model ng Toyota Innova. We also accept booking for those who are planning to travel via PAL, Cebu Pacific, and other airline companies, local and international, and bills payment for Meralco bills, PLDT, Aleco bills, etc. Ang Colosal Fitness Gym is located at 3rd floor Security Bank Building, Landco Business Park, Legazpi City, Albay. For inquiries, look for Chilon Maravillas, contact number 0966-802-0949. Yan yung aming Innova. Lagi na pong matao sa amin. Pati mga foreigners po, tingnan ninyo. Mga British tourists sila. Ang lalaki ng katawan na, mga kababayan, nag-gym sa amin. Ito naman po, Indian National. Ito mga mga European sila. Ito naman yung bago naming product na binibenta online, iGlow Serum. Whitening po siya galing sa South Korea. Tingnan ninyo yung epekto sa aking anak na architect entrepreneur, Riz Maravillas. For inquiries, look for Riz Maravillas on FB. Ito naman po, Firmax Firming and Lifting Cream. Pinapahid po ito sa mga pulses and affected area. Mahina po ito sa mga pains at paninigas na mga kaso-kasoan. Ito po, Automax Regen Serum. Sa mukha naman yung application. Anti-aging po siya. You will look 10 years younger than your age. Ito naman po yung bagong product naming binibenta online. I am Worldwide Amazing Pure Organic Barley Powdered Drink Mix from Australia. Mainam po ito sa mga cancer patients. Tulad nitong si Yoli Tan, isang ovarian cancer survivor. Sabi niya, barley did not just save my life, it gave me a new life. In 2019, Yoli faced the fight of her life. Through surgery and harsh chemotherapy, I am Worldwide Amazing Pure Organic Barley became her source of strength. It boosted her immune system when she needed it most and gave her the energy to keep going. 100% organic siya, immune system booster and trusted by survivors. For your inquiries and orders, dumiretso na lang kayo sa aking anak na architect entrepreneur, Chris Maravillas. Sa mga mahilig naman po sa mga imported bags and wallets, dumiretso na lang kayo kay Ma'am Eileen Rosales. Eileen Closet, nakabase siya po sa Amerika. Yan yung kanyang mga bag on display. Yan yung kanyang online selling every Sunday, 7 o'clock in the evening, Philippine time. Pwede kayong mag-order sa kanya. Direkta.